If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Welcome to Skiba News Nation, bringing you unfiltered views, news, interviews, discussions, and more. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Skiba, award-winning musician and son of Rob Skiba.
With the son of the legendary Rob Skiba, Jeremiah Skiba, what's up?
With my great and insightful co-host, Mr. Jake Graham. It's like I don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth.
Hey Skiba News Nation family, today we have a very special guest, a bold truth seeker, truth speaker, rapper, songwriter, and a man of God, Mr. Bryson Gray. Welcome to the show and welcome to Skiba News Nation. You were the top of our list when we were like, who do we want to get on the show in the future? And you were legit one of the top people, so it's an honor to have you here.
Let's go. Thank you so much for having me.
My first question is, for those who may not know you, who is Bryson Gray? Like, how did you become Bryson Gray, who you are today?
Well, my stage name is my real name for starters. So my name is Bryson Gray, which is why it's so easy for people to dox me. But outside of that, I started making music when I was 4. My first time recording music professionally, I was 9. And I started performing when I was like 14, 15, because my rap group became popular in high school when I used to make secular music. I was in a rap group called 336 Boys, and we were very popular in North Carolina. And so in high school, I was traveling. I should have been doing homework probably, but I was traveling and doing concerts with Soulja Boy, J. Cole, like any popular rapper you can really name that came to North Carolina. And I had songs on the radio in North Carolina, like #1 songs on the radio in North Carolina. And then I kept making music. I got tired of rap and started making EDM music when I used to drink under my name King Vodka. Self-explanatory. And I wanted to start back rapping, so I actually had music that went viral under King Vodka, and then started back rapping. Then I started getting into politics, and then I started saying my religious and political beliefs out loud. But oddly enough, I've always said my religious beliefs out loud. I was just lukewarm at first. Then I started mixing into politics with it, and started changing my life. And then I lost all of my connections. No more radio, no more label connects, no more PR people, no more anything. Then I started making MAGA rap. Then I realized both parties are a sham. And then I just stick to making music about Christ now.
That's awesome, man. Who was your musical inspiration when you decided you wanted to be a musician? Like, who was that one person or several people?
I don't know, because my parents said I came out the womb rapping. I'm not even joking. Like, I was rapping at 4. There's a video of me rapping at 4. So I don't know who my inspiration was. But as I was growing up, I was really inspired by like secular rappers. Clearly, I was inspired by Tupac. Like Tupac was somebody I've always like, okay, this is who I want to sort of like not replicate myself after, but I don't know. He was the only rapper that he still made degenerate music, but he would also make songs about like just real life. You know what I'm saying? Like Keep Your Head Up, Dear Mama, Me Against the World. Like he made songs like my favorite artists are people that I can know how you feel in your real life right now by listening to your music. And that's sort of how I wanted to make music. Like I wanted, like, listen to my music, I want you to understand what I'm into, what I like doing, what I don't like. You know, I mean, and now it's clearly, if it's biblical, I like it. If it's unbiblical, I don't. But, you know, but yeah. So I wouldn't say I model myself after any rapper, but as far as like how I made music, it was definitely like Tupac. Like it was raw. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't going to the studio trying to be perfect. It was more about character. Right. It was more about feeling. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of how I go into making music. I just literally just sort of wing it. I mean, I write, but it's like whatever I feel is just coming out through the music.
Yeah, when me and Jake saw you perform at Hebrew Fest, that was awesome. Like just what you did on stage and how you were able to do it. And I was like, man, this doesn't feel like what I'm told is Christian rap. Like you were fun. Like it was fun to listen to you because you just spit the truth.
Y'all ready? Right now. Hey, chapter and verse. Hey, chapter and verse. Hey, chapter and verse. Please don't give me feelings, give me chapter and verse. Hey, chapter and verse. Hey, chapter and verse. Romans 2:6, you judge according to your works. But you say that ain't what pastors preaching in your church.
Like you just tell it like it is. And I feel like when I was growing up, my mom had on the Christian radio. It just, you know, I never really got into it, but I really got into your music, and a lot of my family were like, "Oh, you're having Bryson Gray on," and I think that's great, man.
Yeah, thank you. I love performing, man. It's one of the things I put in well over 10,000 hours doing growing up, which is performing. So I like, I like going on stage. I like entertaining, especially when you're doing it with the Word of God. Yeah, I mean, my music is meant to be fun, but biblical at the same time. I feel like rap and maybe metal is the only genres you can truly get across the wrath of God. You know what I'm saying? And you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't do it in other genres, but if it's a ballad and somebody's talking about the wrath of God, it doesn't feel like the, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was like a Christian contemporary song talking about the wrath of God, it's like the lyrics could say it, but you're not able to really fully feel it. I feel like with like rap music, metal, and maybe some hard rock, which is, you know, closer to metal, but I feel like with those genres, you can truly feel the wrath of God when the person is, you know what I'm saying, talking about it. So yeah, I love performing, bro. Music is like all my life is.
Right on.
Yeah, it's super sweet, the comparison with the message of truth you bring and the type of music that you compare it up with. Because, you know, you have all those old timers in the church that really get offended at hip hop or rock or metal or whatever, but they don't realize that style of music can still deliver a scriptural truth. And I think that's you know, what you're definitely capitalizing on now, man. And with all of the censorship that comes with speaking your mind and talking on, you know, some of these controversial topics, where's the best venues that you're finding to perform your music nowadays?
So I want to respond to the first thing you said too. We talk about a lot of the old timey Christians that say Christian rap is demonic. I like talking to them because at the end of the day, they're going to have to repent for bearing false witness. Because if you read the Bible, if you go to Habakkuk, book of Habakkuk, if you go to chapter 3, it was a song, but it wasn't singing. It was emotional poetry called a shikanoth. It was emotional poetry with music behind it. Rap. That's what it was. It was literally rap. Rap is literally in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I found it funny when people say rap isn't biblical, but it's like, go read the book of Habakkuk and tell me what that was then. Because you can't call it singing because he wasn't singing. You can't say it wasn't music in the background. It was music in the background. There's nothing anybody can say. So if anybody goes to the Bible and read Habakkuk 3, it was rap. And to the second question about venues, that's difficult. It's not only difficult because my music is controversial, but even in the faith and how I carry out my faith is controversial. So I I'm actually looking for a venue right now to try to do a concert in Nashville. I'm trying to find a church that will allow me to have a concert in Nashville, and it's been more difficult than I thought it would be. But I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult finding venues to perform at, because even in the Christian scenes, I don't do the political music anymore. But in the Christian scene, I'm controversial. So the mainstream Christian artists, they do not want me to perform with them. They purposefully, people be wanting me to perform, but they purposefully, because they don't want me in the same venue as a lot of these, no disrespect, but a lot of these lukewarm artists, because they don't know what I might do. Like call somebody out on stage or something, which is fair, because I probably will. So it is very difficult doing that.
That's great, man.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And it's cool though. Do you ever get churches to invite you in that might not fully subscribe to your Torah observant beliefs or some of your scriptural positions that they might not, have lined up with their doctrine or theology? But do they let you come in sometimes and bring some of that truth into their stage?
I mean, only if they don't know. So I mean, my last I performed them like almost a month ago, and it was at a church. It was at like a recovery thing at a church, and I performed there, but I don't think they knew my beliefs for real. So it was like, I mean, yeah, it happens, but it typically happens because people don't know my beliefs much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a church near my house that always invite me to come, and they pretty much know my beliefs. So, you know what I'm saying? And they still invite me. So, I guess sometimes, yeah, but not to perform. They just invite me to, come.
Yeah, that's how you know the field is ripe, is whenever you have a Sunday keeping church inviting Bryson Gray up on stage. Then you know it's about to get heated up in there.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably won't invite me on stage. A lot of people don't like giving me a microphone, but they'll invite me to come like listen in and stuff.
So what drives you to do topics like you do? Like it just comes through you, comes through the Bible, comes, like, how does it come to you? I'm always interested to see how that works with different artists.
I look at music as, so like I said, music reflects what I do in life, and I was about to say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunate. All I do in life is to read the Bible, box, play basketball, read the Bible, and make music. It's like this is my life, and I'm married. So when I make music, it can only be about something that I'm into or something that I'm doing, which is mainly going to be the Bible, clearly. So when I listen to a beat, or if I make the beat, it's whatever that beat tells me to do is what I do. So I look at like the beat of the song is the canvas, and whatever that canvas makes me feel is how I write the song. So a lot of times I'll start off with no pen and pad. I'll just, listen to the beat. Perfect example, my song Bible Talk. Soon as I heard that beat, I was like, it's that Bible talk. That beat made me say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I make music. A lot of artists have these routines they get into. And I think routines hold you back in music, because music is not like, it shouldn't be a routine. I feel like being a music artist should be like being water. You should be able to form into whatever the beat needs you to become. And that's how I make music. That's why people don't know what type of song I might make next. It might be a typical lit Bryson Gray song, or I might make a reggae song, or I might make an EDM song. It really just depends on what I'm listening to, how it makes me feel, what it makes me say. And I have no rhyme or reason, just know it's going to be biblical.
Last time me and you talked, Bryson, was on a X call, or whatever they call it, an X space. And it was about the Karmelo Anthony case. And me and my wife, we live right down the road from where this happened.
Seriously?
Yeah, and
you told me that.
we filmed it, and it was just very, very strange to me. There were very strange circumstances, and I think that we don't know the full story. And I'm going to try to cover it here on this show, but we did take notes. And my wife is a teacher in the neighboring county of Frisco, Texas, where this happened. And it is so affluent that you would not think that these kind of things would happen. And so when we went there, we noticed, like, we went to both kids' schools. The Austin Metcalf had no flowers outside of the school. It just felt odd to me. And what were your first thoughts when you heard about the Karmelo Anthony case?
So when I speak publicly, I try to make sure everything is like factual and fact-based things I can prove. But how I felt about it is it didn't make sense, because when you have like the Michael Browns, the George Floyds, the Ahmaud Arbery's, and once again, I'm not necessarily saying all these people were 100% guilty. I'm just saying they were criminals. I mean, just objectively true, they were criminals. Mike Brown had just robbed a store. George Floyd was literally being arrested for doing something illegal. Ahmaud Arbery had a history of doing crime. The problem with this story is Karmelo Anthony is completely the opposite. I think they said what, 3.7 GPA. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like you said, it's a high income area. His mother was a stay at home mom. You know what I'm saying? And then Austin Metcalf, his dad and his mother was separated, but they were still living in a high income area. So the situation didn't make sense. And as a person that did every sport growing up, like track, I've been to 1 million track meets. My sister was actually got a full ride scholarship for track in college. So when you go to these high school track meets, there are always tents. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of things is weird. First off, people usually don't schedule track meets when they know the weather is going to be bad.
Right.
Let's just start there. And if the weather ends up bad without you knowing, I mean, yes, you do a delay, which is what they did. The part that's crazy to me is not necessarily Karmelo Anthony going in a tent, because if you actually read the latest reports, there were multiple students from other schools under the tent. The thing that's weird is starting there, because if you listen to the reports, it's almost like a TV show.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean Karmelo Anthony was just sitting there and two twins walked up and said, you need to move? Like, even that is not rational. Like, I've been to well over 100 track meets. I've been in well over 100 different school tents. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've never seen anybody randomly walk up to somebody, because Karmelo Anthony was trying to get out the rain, walk up to him and say, hey, you need to move. So the reason I don't think we know the full story is because, I mean, we have three options. We have two options here rationally, which is either Karmelo Anthony was doing something he wasn't supposed to do when he got in a tent, or the Metcalf kids were actually just school bullies, like TV show bullies. You know what I'm saying? And neither one of those really makes sense, because there was a delay and he was just trying to get out the rain. And then when it came out, me and my wife was talking. It was like they had to know each other. If it wasn't those two things, they had to know each other beforehand, right? And a few rumors came out and said they did know each other beforehand, but then both parties came out and said they didn't know each other beforehand. And that confused me. And me and my wife, honestly, we didn't believe that, and I partially still don't. But I like to keep things factual when I'm speaking public and base it on things. But behind the scenes, my wife and I've had multiple discussions, because it's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, the story doesn't really add up. It's like, and I'm not saying it can't happen. Clearly it can. But as a person who've experienced like over 100 track meets, I ran track. My sister ran track. My little brother ran track. You know what I'm saying? I've been in these situations. I've been in them several times, and I've just never seen anything like this. Like, without the two people knowing each other,
yeah,
it just didn't make any sense. So that's sort of like my that was my initial thoughts when I heard it.
Do you know anything about Dominique Alexander? He's the guy that's representing the Anthony family, and he has like
Jesse Jackson.
Huh?
The new Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, but he has like a criminal like rap sheet. One of them is like endangering a child, and I just found that so fascinating. Like, as a family, why would you have? I mean, I guess he reached out to them, but like he doesn't make it look good for his side. I mean, I believe everybody's innocent until proven guilty, and I don't think all the facts are known, but I just think that's a horrible, choice for them to pick.
I don't really care about that, because this is a family that probably don't know any better, and they probably seen Dominique Alexander on TV, and I mean, I'm 100% sure they didn't look up his criminal record and say, hey, is this guy a criminal? Just like a Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton. Right. All of the race baiters come out to feast, and of course, is there like high level names. Of course, these people are just gonna go with the high level people, because it's a high level case. So I don't think that's any reflection of Karmelo's family. I think it's a reflection of Dominique Alexander for quickly jumping in to exploit the situation.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, and it's so sad that they're making it all about race, and that's what really angers me about it. It's like, this is what they do. This is what the mainstream media does. They make everything about race. They want us to hate each other, but why should we hate each other? We shouldn't. And
I don't
it's
think
like,
it was the mainstream. I don't think it was the mainstream media this time. I gotta be honest and consistent. Like when the Ahmaud Arbery thing happened, I don't know how long y'all been near the conservative movement, but there was like a black conservative war because you had who I call the normal humans, like people like me, Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, my wife at the time. We were like looking at it, just looking at the facts of the case and saying, okay, he did do this, he did do this. And then you had a lot of the black conservatives who were more like cared about their skin color. It ended up being a war. People ended up attacking each other. It ended up being crazy over the Ahmaud Arbery case, right? And I do think it was the media making a race for this time, but I mean that time. But for this case, I'm not gonna lie, it was conservatives making a race. So I mean, I can't. I'm not a liar. I watched it happen in real time. Conservatives made it about race instantly.
well, even in the X space, I mean, I could hear people getting like angry about it. So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It was instant too. And if you had came out and said it wasn't about race, them same people on the right wing, and it's not all conservatives, because I'm a conservative clearly. So clearly this is not all conservative. I'm not even saying it's all white conservatives. There's just a very loud minority of people with a lot of influence, especially on X, that made it about race instantly. And even when the father came out and said it wasn't about race, this is when I knew the right wing space has lost its noodles. The father of Austin Metcalf came out and said it's not about race, right? The most pro-black people, not pro-black conservative, I'm talking about like the Tariq Nasheeds. I'm talking about like you know what I'm saying? The crazy folk. Even they supported Austin Metcalf father when he said that. You know who didn't support Austin Metcalf father when he said it wasn't about race? Right-wingers. They called him weak. While he's mourning for his son, by the way, they called him weak, disgusting. I mean, they literally ran him into the ground. And then a lot of mainstream conservatives was also echoing that against the father. But meanwhile, the most BLM people was showing love to the father. It's like this. I know, like it's like some weird role reversal. That's why I think we got to be in like a simulation or something. Because that is crazy.
Yeah, I believe that sometimes too. So what do you think is happening within the conservative movement?
Oh, I know what's happening. It's the same thing that happened on the left. I mean, the best way to exploit people is their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And there is a small group. There's groups of people that have always had these strong biases, and these groups are very loud on the internet. Like, I mean, with the BLM stuff, right? You take a few videos. There was always a video. Every few years, there was a black person getting killed by a white cop. Nobody cares about the context. Nobody cares about anything. Nobody cares about if the cop was actually doing his job or not. It's just the visual of it. Like even the George Floyd thing, right? Mm-hmm. Initially, when that video released, a lot of conservatives were even like, wow, this looks bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then when the context, more context started coming out and things started shifting, but everybody was like, this looks bad. So imagine if you're somebody with a bias already and you already have a view of police like attacking black people, you see that video. If conservatives thought it looked bad, just imagine what these people were thinking. So, and then their emotions got exploited. Then the summer of love happened. Then everything became about race, and all you heard on the media was white men are evil, white men are evil, white men are evil. But see, what that did was that sent the people who felt affected by that, the white men, and for a while they were being defensive, right? There's like, no, you know what I'm saying? We're not racist. We're not racist. But then you had a small group of people on the internet that was becoming more loud due to Elon Musk, you know what I'm saying, freeing up Twitter, who are trying to push this white solidarity message. So what they started doing, and this is something I know for a fact, I'm not going to expose no names, but they pay people to find videos of black people attacking white people. It could be from 20 years ago, 10 years ago, yesterday. Who cares? Because all you need is one recent one to confirm the bias. That's how people's brains work. And they started paying people to post. They posted these videos every day with crazy captions like, we need a white buddy system, or just something crazy, even though none of these people have been attacked by black people in real life, 9 times out of 10, just statistically speaking. But they see the videos and they think it's real, just like the other side. And then I started pushing this solidarity movement. And then the Austin Metcalf case, they view that as the same thing. So it just connects in their brain. And now it's this online race war. It's not in real life yet because I go out a lot and I live in Tennessee. So nobody cares in real life yet. But on the internet, these are real people for the most part. So I feel like that's wild. That's how we got here.
That's crazy coming from the conservative. I mean, they're not doing any service to conservative people, I feel.
Oh no, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it looks terrible. I mean, because even liberals, you know, it's funny. There's a liberal that's been trolling me for like 7 years. I kid you not. And he tweets me more than often now, and he's like, Bryce, remember you said they weren't racist? You know what I'm saying? Because the same people who I used to defend are now calling me like the hard R every day. Because I like keeping things factual about the Karmelo Anthony case, or I like keeping things factual about statistics, and the fact that I'm not echoing every single victim-minded talking point makes now all of a sudden I've become some, like, they're painting me as if I'm some like super pro-black person. It's like, what are you talking about? But so a lot of these liberals that have been following for a while, they do like shove it in my face every single day now, and I can't argue with them because, no disrespect, a lot of these people sound absolutely crazy.
Jake.
Yeah, the bullwhip effect is really interesting to see how at one point the Conservative Party was one thing, and then through the race baiting and through the cancel culture stuff that the left has done, it's almost like they're like, hey, they were really successful in these ploys against mankind. Let's just follow their bad example. And now the Conservative Party is doing exactly what you had the far left liberals doing just a few years ago. And yeah, it's pretty insane. I wanted to ask you about the censorship of speech and information, because as media is being used to kind of propagandize everybody, you have this overbearing information overload of whatever the agenda is, and then in the back end they're banning accounts and blacklisting people that are talking about things they don't want in the kind of the online sphere. So like, how do you navigate that world with your controversial lyrics and topics that you talk about? I mean, have you struggled with being banned and taken down online?
Of course. I don't think there's a platform I haven't been banned from at least once. Matter of fact, I know there isn't. I even got banned on Twitter after my first time ever getting banned on Twitter was post Elon. So it was after Elon, and it was because I called Elton John gay, and he's gay. And I literally was banned for I think like 2 days. And it took a bunch of people, a bunch of connections I had to get me back on. Like, I literally got banned for calling Elton John gay. It was the most, I mean, it was the most psychotic thing I've ever experienced. And you know, a lot of people talk about Kanye's song about the HH song that people say, oh, he said in the president because this song got banned. You know, music platforms don't ban music. Where have you guys been? Because people like me and Tyson James, I think me and Tyson James are the first rappers to ever have music banned on Spotify ever in history. And it was because we were talking about the LGBT, and they literally banned it for hate speech. Spotify banned like 3 of my songs. Spotify also, SoundCloud also banned 2 of my songs. YouTube banned 2 of my songs, and Apple Music banned 2 of my songs also. So it's like you know, when people set the precedent. I mean, people only care about the Kanye thing because all of a sudden, like, Hitler is super cool now. So people are just, they like that he said it, even though the lyrics are just simply a degenerate rap song lyric, the same as any other degenerate rap song. He just says like positive things about Hitler, and it's like we've been getting banned for a while. I haven't been banned lately, but it's partially because it's like in my mind, I'm like, I've said everything that needed to be said. I'm gonna keep saying it, but you know, certain things I don't have to continue saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows I'll say it. So.
Wow. Yeah, I've been wondering if music is this weapon during this day and age where if you make a Twitter post or you're publicly speaking, then they can slap you with a hate speech, offense. But in music, for generations, people have been allowed to speak about the most ungodly, disgusting, evil things, and that was never taken down, and it was just pushed off as artistic freedom. And so I'm kind of wondering, as an artist today, do you think music will become eventually one of the few ways you can continue to speak out against some things that right now, if you posted a Facebook post on this or that, you could have your account banned, but music being like this capsule that protects the message of truth going out to everybody?
Yes and no, because music does get censored. It is rare, but when you're, like I said, when you people like me, Tyson James, and now Kanye West, I don't even agree with Kanye West's song, nor do I think it was good, but clearly they can control the speech there, especially with people like me and Tyson, because we're not Kanye West level type people. So Kanye can create his own website and say whatever he wants because he's so popular. Me and Tyson, we have, smaller bases, so it's like we don't have the same luxuries. But you gotta think about it. I made a song called Like Eminem, literally titled it Like Eminem. I found a Eminem style beat. I did an Eminem style flow. I did a Eminem style hook, all on purpose, because Eminem have songs like Criminal or Rap God, or he has a few songs where he actually threatens physical violence against like LGBT people.
Right.
And in my lyrics on Like Eminem, I'm talking about the LGBT, but I'm talking about how like this is nothing compared to what Eminem said. You can still stream his music. And I made this song to see if it would get banned. It got banned on Spotify, Apple Music. The only reason it wasn't banned on YouTube was I had to censor out the lyrics on YouTube as if I was cursing or something. And I don't even curse. It got banned on Apple Music. I think it's banned on anywhere you can stream my song Like Eminem is banned. But you know what's not banned? Rap Guy. You know what's not banned? Criminal. You know what's not banned? Any Eminem song where he threatened violence against the LGBT. So there's clearly a double standard. So in that case, I don't think music is the form where you can still protect truth. But at the same way, but in the same sense, it is because you can still make music. I mean, it's just hard for people to find it, of course, because like me and Tyson James, we have a website called AllCCG that we had to make because we don't know when our stuff is getting banned. So we have all of our music on there. People pay like $7 a month to do a stream whenever they want. But so yeah, you can still do it, but it's never going to be at the level of like a Kendrick Lamar or Drake. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to get censored. Matter of fact, Kendrick Lamar said the FAG word like 80 times on one of his songs, I think a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it didn't get banned. So, I mean, the answer is yes and no.
Yeah, it all comes down to distribution and getting in front of people. But it to me, it kind of seems like a really interesting time to use music to start to talk about these tough topics. Just in general, like if you can get in front of people, there's like legal protection in a way because of your artistic liberty, which is the same legal protection people that talk about murdering and all kinds of terrible stuff throughout the history of music as we know it. They get away with it. So why can't we talk about, biblical beliefs, right?
No, because it's hate speech. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, because you got to think about it, these companies like Spotify, they can claim they're a private company and they don't have to host your music if they don't want to. So to me, it's all about, it's sort of like why Elon claimed he bought, Twitter at first. But to me, it's about the public space, right? Can we have the conversations in the public space? And unfortunately, if you're across too many lines, you can't have that conversation in the public space. You see what I'm saying? And that's the part that sucks. You know what I'm saying? You can try to force it if you have the money and the means to do it. But if you don't have the money and the means to break down these barriers, then you're really just pushed out of the public conversation. So, really music rights is not protected. Like in reality, we don't have free speech in this country. Because if free speech was real, then I think every platform, any public platform, should be forced to allow free speech, as long as nobody's being threatened or things of that nature. But in songs, you can even threaten people. Rap music, the majority of popular rap music is about killing each other. And, you know what I'm saying, that's just flat out allowed without a shadow of a doubt. You can just do it. So you can threaten actual people with real names on a song. You really literally can. So I don't think our musical freedom is really protected. I just do it anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the perfect example of a social credit system that we don't have here in the Western world at all, but it's what they're doing over in China, and yet we're still feeling the repercussions of our own self-governing social credit system.
Oh yeah, we have a social credit system already. It's just not like an actual system set in place with a handbook that somebody can give you. There's clearly a social credit system in this country, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you brought up Eminem because I was telling my wife about a year ago, is it like, because I used to be a Eminem fan, I used to listen to it, and if you play him today, there are so many crazy things that he said that is still on the radio, like on satellite radio. Like it'll play in her car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this song. Like, how does he get away with it and being on the left? Is that maybe why? And it's because the people on the right are being censored, or is it just, battle of good and evil?
I think it's just a double standard, because I used to be an Eminem fanatic, and songs like Kim,
yeah, like
come on, bro, you know what I'm saying, or his song called Insane, I think it was called Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm talking about just the most craziest lyrics, and it's okay for him. I do think it's because of his political leanings. I do think it's because he became a little puppet for whatever the system wanted him to do. So they allow these songs to continue on. But meanwhile, somebody that makes a song just like it, just less controversial, called Like Eminem, that gets banned though. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting, all these people that have musically seem to not like what's happening with the Diddy stuff. And do you have any thoughts about all that? I just recently heard some of the stuff that has gone on in that case with Justin Bieber, but I don't know really much about it. But do you know?
I read the court, so I think they just started the court stuff yesterday, and I read the responses from Cassie. And Diddy is just a disgusting, filthy person, and I don't think Cassie's 100% innocent either. But Diddy is that dude is a deviant, bro. That is like the stuff that she was saying. I don't even want to, but I was reading the back and forth between the judge and the defense attorney and Cassie, and I'm talking about, it was just some very disgusting stuff in there what Diddy used to do. But I think when you get that high up, man, I think like 98% of the time you're probably into some like disgusting, filthy stuff, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, who's worse, Epstein or Diddy? And I said, they're both evil. I mean, you can't really compare.
I'm still say Epstein.
Yeah,
because he had an island full of like women, like 12 and 13.
Yeah.
Now if that comes out about Diddy, then it'd be comparable at that sense. But Epstein was a super weirdo. He had like an agent. Wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell's like an agent to go recruit young girls? Like, that's crazy. At least Cassie was an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I think it's a bit different, but Diddy is disgusting. They both gonna be in the same place when it's all said and done with.
True that.
Well, Diddy has an opportunity to repent, but
unless Hillary gets to him.
Yeah, Hillary need to repent too. She still got a chance to.
Yeah, it's interesting how they've used the stuff they do in parties and stuff to manipulate and control bigger names. With superstars get up there in that position, they go over, and they put themselves in a compromising position, and then they're blackmailed, and that's why, walking righteously and not having a big bag on your back allows you to speak truth in a way that when you're culpable, when you have blackmail, whenever you're actively engaged in something that somebody could just smear your name across the internet with, then it makes people like bridled up to where they can't speak out. They can't, even if some of these superstars don't like some of the nonsense that's going on, they have this leash, and it's crazy to see how it works, and that all this information is coming out. And what are your thoughts, just like in recent years since Elon has bought Twitter and kind of the new age of truth seeking that we've entered into? It's more of it used to be like a conspiracy theorist's pastime to find the truth, but now it's everybody's into truth, and you have all these kind of pseudo truthers, and it's a really interesting time. What are your thoughts on just in general?
Yeah, so the best way to not get blackmailed is to not be a degenerate. It's really quite simple. So like when Diddy is recording people, well, if you're behind the scenes engaging in homosexuality, then I'm not gonna say you deserve to be blackmailed, but it's like, if you wasn't being a homosexual, you wouldn't be able to get blackmailed. If you wasn't cheating on your wife, you wouldn't be in a position to get blackmailed. If you wasn't messing with little children, you wouldn't be in a position to get blackmailed. So to me, it's like nobody on earth can blackmail me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't see Bryson Gray being blackmailed. So I'm not, like, even the conservative movement, right? You go to these conservative events, and most of these people that act like Christians on the internet, they're just complete degenerates. Like they're complete degenerates. That's all. My wife and I, we have like a select few people we hang with. You know what I'm saying? We'll say hey to everybody else, but I'm not hanging with them because, like, even a lot of these women that talk about modesty online in the conservative movement, soon as nighttime hit at these conservative events and James O'Keefe throws a party, they're all dressing like Cardi B. Literally. I mean, I'm like, that's how they dress. Sometimes me and Shekinah walk out our hotel room and be like, what is she wearing? We'll be so confused. So that's why they get blackmailed. And as far as like the truth-seeking thing, I think ever since Elon has taken over Twitter and has incentivized people to say whatever gets clicks, I don't think it's truth seeking no more. I think everything now is confirmation bias. Whatever your bias is, you're gonna seek out whatever's on the internet. You're gonna seek out that confirms your bias. So if you're somebody that you think white people are victims and being attacked by black people every day, you're gonna follow people who post them videos every day. You're gonna follow Stu Peters. You're gonna follow Elijah Schaefer, because that's how algorithms work. Algorithm literally feeds you what you're into. That's how algorithms work. So if all you're doing is watching these videos every single day, and you're like, white people are victims, and that's what you're gonna see. You're a black person, you want black people to be victims, you're gonna follow like I forgot that guy name on Twitter. It's like I Expose Racists or something like that. Guy on Twitter. All he does every single day is post a video or an article of a white person doing something and saying white people this. It's really the same side on a different coin. Mm-hmm. And of course it's gonna be in your timeline if that's what you want to see. That's how algorithms work. If you want to see stuff about Democrats, you're gonna see that. You want to see about Trump, you'll see that. So I think everything is not about truth seeking no more. It's about my truth seeking. You know, it's not about the truth. It's about my truth, which is never the truth. That's what it's about now.
Yeah, that's really interesting how you put it, and because Elon has tagged Grok as the truth-seeking AI, and its whole goal is to unlock the secrets of the universe, and yet it's always going to be biased based on the information we're uploading to it. But being somebody who's always on Twitter, or at least you post most days, so you're kind of like a expert. What would you say the easiest way to break the algorithm is?
I've been using Twitter since like 2009. You know what's funny? Now I hate it, but it's like my body is so used to getting on Twitter and posting my random thoughts is that I like halfway can't control, because I've been doing it for like so long since I've been out of high school. But when you say break the algorithm, do you mean like to go viral or to not get the wicked stuff on your timeline?
How do you stumble across stuff that normally it would be regurgitating for your consumption, so that you can see outside of the box it puts you in? But then we can also talk about, you know, how do you game the system and use X to publicize your content, your music, when it's so controversial?
So to answer your first question, I mean, it sounds sad, but honestly, just don't like the stuff. If somebody posts a video, don't watch it for more than 3 seconds. If I see something positive, I'll watch it for 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? If I see something that actually into, I'll make sure, because the more you do that, the more it gets into your algorithm. So me, I go out of my way, and if I see anything positive on my timeline, I'm liking it, I'm retweeting it. That's why most of my timeline is typically biblical stuff or theological stuff. The only bad stuff on my timeline is people that don't read their Bibles, because I respond to them like, yo, you need to read your Bible. So I still get negativity on my timeline, but it's not somebody thinking they're negative. It's, you know what I'm saying? They think they're right. But as far as like all the racial stuff, I mean, honestly, bro, I be blocking some of these accounts, because sometimes I'll see a tweet and I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, I just don't want you on my timeline. So like sometimes I'll be like, bro, I'm sorry, I just got to get you up out of here. And it's sad it has to come to that. But yeah, I mean, you just have to engage with things you want to see. You know, humans think they're better. Most people, they think better of themselves than they actually are. Most people do want to see the wicked stuff. Like they do. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember one time somebody, I was debating with, what's her name? Red-headed libertarian or something like that over Calendargate. And she got on, we had a debate on Alex Stein. And she pulled up my Twitter and said she saw some porn ad on my Twitter. And she said, so what are you into? And I'm like, I said, I'm sorry to say this, ma'am, but the question is, what are you into? Because ads are algorithm based. So if you're seeing an ad about porn, this means you watch porn. And I'm sorry you had to expose yourself like this. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I never get those ads. Like, I've never seen a porn ad on my Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But she's seen it. She said she's seen it 3 times in a row. I say, I know what you do. You know what I'm saying? So the best way to fix the algorithm is don't engage in bad stuff. As far as how to game Twitter, I have zero clue. The algorithm is completely different from what it used to be. All algorithms are the same now. It used to be that if you worked hard, gained followers, then the followers will see your content, and that's what it is. Now, your followers don't really matter as much now. It's completely different. I have no clue. I literally post whatever I'm thinking in a moment, and sometimes on rare occasions, it goes viral. Never for music, though. So on Twitter, Twitter's the only platform that I don't go viral for music. Honestly, it's the only platform where my fan base hasn't shifted. On every other platform, my fan base is mainly like Christian people, not even mainly political people anymore. But Twitter is like, it's impossible to make that same shift happen. So yeah, like literally, I have zero clue how to like purposefully go viral on Twitter outside of joining a cult. You're either gonna be in the White Pride Worldwide cult, or you're gonna be in the Black Forever cult, or you got to join some cult to go viral on Twitter and post content that rage based, like videos, I guess, if you want to be that type of person.
Yeah, it tells a lot that that's the material that they're pushing out and making go viral, that they're wanting to use the system to, just get us all reared up and at each other. But it's kind of funny because we live in the day and age where it's like you got to start to ask the question, okay, they're doing this to push an agenda, but perhaps the bullwhip effect of us reacting to their agenda is the thing that they wanted in the first place. So you got to be really careful with the conspiracies and stuff that are happening nowadays, because it's that bullwhip sometimes that they're wanting that reaction from in the first place.
Yeah. But people want the agenda, though. I think that's the thing people get lost. Like, once again, I'm not the type of person that think most people have good intentions. No, I think most people have bad intentions. And these people want that agenda. You know what's funny is, like, I remember when we all was in agreement that the left was falling for propaganda, right? But now we see the right acting the exact same way. Mm-hmm. But they don't realize they're falling for propaganda. Matter of fact, not only do they not think they're falling for propaganda, they call themselves actual victims and say they're actually oppressed. I'm like, bro, I've been in the right-wing movement since 2018. We used to say, put yourself up by your bootstraps. In America, you're not oppressed. But now, all of a sudden, you're oppressed, and the other people were lying, but you're actually for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't even realize they're part of the agenda because they want it. This is how they feel. So, facts over feelings. Well, that's what we used to say. I don't know about now. So
we can still say it.
I mean, I still say it. But, yeah.
Our system rewards victims. It's really true. And that Jeremiah always likes to joke about Helen Keller being one of his favorite conspiracies, and just the concept that victims have always been the centerpieces for pushing agendas. And yeah, man.
She flew an airplane. Can you believe that? She flew an airplane.
Helen Keller did, for real?
Yeah, she spoke in a British accent, and it was all made up. Allegedly, but for real.
We know victimhood works because even with the whole like Hitler thing that everybody's so into, if you think about it from inception, it's just a bunch of victims, right? Hitler was a part of the Workers' Party, who were a group of people that thought they were victims and they were owed more. I mean, it was a socialist party, and they felt like they were owed more by the system, and Hitler led it, and he got popular for being a professional victim. We're the Workers' Party, we deserve a piece of the pie. I mean, it's quite literally socialism. It's national socialism, but it's socialism. And then, you know what I'm saying, he trusted a bunch of bankers, and then he felt like the bankers are the reason Germany's economy started getting worse and the war started getting bad. So then he did speeches, and if you literally read Hitler's speeches, they were all just victim-based speeches. It was like, none of this is my fault at all. it's all the fault of these people, these bankers that I trusted, but I'm not gonna say that part because, you know, whatever. I hired them and I took their money, but I'm not gonna say that part because it's all their fault. You know what I'm saying? And then he took that and then he blamed an entire group of people, which are Jewish people. And after he blamed them, then they started just pumping the number. You can even see during the newspapers from then to beginning, it's like they started pumping them numbers up of how many people like died. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people died. I mean, Hitler was wicked, period. But they started pumping that number up because it was like, hey, this is working. So it went from like, you know what I'm saying, I think 500,000 to 5 million to 6 million. It just kept going up over the years because it's like everything. So like the whole process is everybody using I'm not saying everything can start with a truth. I tell you all the time, everything starts with a truth. Even with this like race war on Twitter, right? Black people, grandparents told them that white people view black people this way because back in the day, black people were viewed that way. I mean, that's just the truth of it. Black people were actually oppressed in this country before. You know what I'm saying? So the sentiment is based on something that may not be as prevalent now, but it was then. Just like on the other side, the media was attacking white men and making white men out to just be inherent bad people for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So like everything, a lot of things start with a truth, but then people take that truth and turn it into something it's not.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. This is kind of off topic, I guess, but what kind of legacy, like what do you want your legacy to be?
Honesty, integrity, of course, all that stemming from following Christ. So like, you know, that's why I like even when people don't like me, if you like hear them. Like I remember I was in a rap beef with this Christian rapper named John Keefe or whatever, and we met and we talked, and afterwards, you know what I'm saying, I watched the interview of his and somebody asked him about it, and he said I disagree with Bryson on some things, but I'm letting y'all know that is not an act. How he is on the internet is not an act. That is Bryson Gray in real life. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear that, even for people who don't necessarily like me, that's what I want my legacy to be. Like, what you see is what you get. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can say that I live a different life than what I preach. You know what I'm saying? So, and I people around me all the time. So, I mean, that's what I want my legacy to be. I want my legacy to be like he practiced what he preached. Even if you disagree with what I preached, I practice it regardless. And so, you know, that's what I want it to be.
Yeah, man, very authentic.
Could you sum up for us your transition out of like political rap and into the music that you're doing now, you know, Bible rap, right? When did you guys start to like actually walk out more of the Torah observant, you know, pronomian belief set, you know, with you and your family? And then when did you start to incorporate that in your music?
I've been Torah observant since 2020. When people listen to my albums, it was very obvious even then. As far as my family is not Torah observant. My sister is. My wife actually grew up Torah observant. Fun fact, I didn't even know that. I was sitting here studying, and I was like, oh man, I'm talking about up till 5 a.m, just reading history, reading scriptures, like what is going on? then I remember I would talk to my wife about it. She'd be like, yeah, my mom knows about that. I'm like, huh? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on? And then she was like, yeah, this is what we do. I'm like, oh. My wife never pressured me to like keep Sabbath or anything, but she grew up keeping Sabbath. She never pressured me to like, I had stopped eating pork beforehand because I started researching how bad it was for you. Even before, this is how God works. Before I even thought about being Torah observant, I had stopped eating pork. It was kind of funny. But, you know, and I never ate seafood, so I'm picky. I eat like a 3-year-old. So yeah, that just started happening. And like I said, when I make music, it always resembles what I'm experiencing in real life. And as far as the political stuff, even my political music, I was always quoting scripture, talking about the Bible and things of that nature, because I thought that the Republican Party was the party for Christians. You see what I'm saying? But then even early on, I have a song called Right Side when I was still supporting Trump, but I was literally, you know, saying this is going to happen to the right wing movement because I see it already. And everything I called out happened exactly. I mean, people just started, or not started, they just, I guess, showed their true colors that they were anti-God, honestly. So I can't support nothing. I'm not about to make music about something I don't actually support. It makes no sense, because that's not how I grew up making music. So I just kept everything biblical. But I have a song called Commandments. You know what I'm saying? I have a bunch of songs where if you listen, you know what I'm saying? I have a song called Letters to the Church, the first one. But if you the song, not the album, but the first song called Letters to the Church, you can clearly see I'm Torah observant in it. And that was very early.
It's awesome. Yeah, there's not a lot of Christian artists out there that are teaching the commandments and returning to the ancient paths, right, for truth. But one last question I had was, as somebody who is very biblical based in your lyrics, what is your opinions and thoughts on apocryphal texts, pseudepigraphal texts, and is there any outside of the traditional canon that you have seen any value in? Just kind of curious your thoughts.
Yes. Now it gets confusing, but here go my thing, right? The books, the 66 books that we all subscribe to today. I'm not saying any of them aren't inspired, clearly, but I don't think it'd be biblically correct to say these are the only books, because they weren't the only books before. So now we're just arguing about who was right throughout history. Especially when you look up when you think about the Dead Sea Scrolls and the books that the Bible quoted, that's not in the 66 books. Like the book of Enoch was quoted. You know what I'm saying? Even in the New Testament. So now when you read Enoch, when you get deeper, it's like the later Enochs, I feel like there's an argument to be had there. But at least Enoch 1, you know what I'm saying? It seems like, this is, being quoted in the Bible. So if a book is quoted in the Bible that even we all agree is the Bible, who am I to say this shouldn't be considered inspired text? Like, who am I? Like, they considered it in the Bible, they considered it inspired. But it's all about what version of it do we have, what we're looking at, because even in our books, the KJV is based on the Texas Receptors, is based on later manuscripts, and it's like, it has stuff that doesn't really belong there. Like, to be honest, like the story of Jesus and the adulteress, it's not in the earliest manuscripts. It just literally doesn't exist. And honestly, if you remove it from the book of John, it even reads like that's how it's supposed to be. And in the later manuscripts, they had it sometimes in Luke, they had it sometimes in John. Like, it was clearly not there, and then it ended up magically being there. So to me, it's like, how can I view that as more valid than the book of Enoch? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's some things when you look at a lot of these texts. Now, some of the stuff is like, nah, like the Gospel of Thomas, cut it. Nah, I'm not with it at all. A lot of that, but like Enoch is one where I'm like, and I started reading it. I'm like, interesting.
Yeah, you got to take text on a case-by-case basis.
I agree.
You should check out my my audio dramatization of the Book of Enoch if you're into listening to audiobooks. I did a kind of like a Lord of the Rings-esque but version of Enoch.
Yeah, send it to me.
I wanted to bring that up because if you haven't checked out Second Esdras or Fourth Ezra, man, there's some stuff in there that is so amazing. Like, I'm hoping you'll make a song out of it one day, like a rap song with chapter 2. Man, I'm just telling you now, go read it and it'd be like, all right, Jake told me to make the song, we're gonna hit it, right?
I will. Man, you said Second Ezra?
Yeah, Second Ezra, or it's Fourth Ezra or Second Ezra. It was in the Apocrypha.
Okay.
It went along with Bibles whenever a missionary would go to try to evangelize, and it was one of the texts that wasn't in the 66, but they would still use it to teach and all kinds of stuff from. But has some super profound, one of those apocryphal books that I definitely am like, all right, that's probably still scripture,
Yeah.
But I find the topic of apocryphal texts interesting because a lot of these texts were not considered part of the canon because they were so pronomian, and they would talk about observing the Torah and the Torah being a place for blessing and curse, and really like fixating on the elect need to walk in his ways and his Torah, and part of me is kind of like, all right, I bet you that's why they left that book out. It's a little bit too plain and clear that we need to be walking the walk. Very very cool, man.
So we know that people, the thing I don't like about these conversations is people will be like, well, these 66 books aren't 100% correct. And if this isn't the beginning and end of everything, then that means God didn't protect his word. Like, no. God already warned you not to add to his word. He never said that you're not going to be able to do it. The Pharisees were doing it. That's what Yeshua was arguing about with the Pharisees. They were doing a man-made tradition. So we know humans can add to if they want to. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take away from the fact you should know it's added. You know what I'm saying? So that's why with these conversations, I'm like, when people just like write off all apocryphal texts, I'd be like, you can't, like I said, you can't accept these added things later, but then say I don't accept this. That makes zero sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how can this not exist? Like, clearly we can go through history and say we didn't see this in any manuscript until like the 10th century, but we accept it because it's in the 66 books. But this book here that's found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, it was quoted in the Bible you're agreeing with, but you still don't think it's scripture at all because it's not in the 66. That's just not a, I mean, it's not a genuine or fair assessment.
Yeah, I think it's in the way that we're not supposed to throw our pearls before swine, right? You have that biblical concept that there are some things that are set apart for the wise among us to seek out. And when you have a foundation of the Messiah, you have a foundation in his Torah, you can go and sift through all of these questionable texts and you can find the pearls that, you know, your regular old degenerate backslidden Christian might be interested in this, you know, this hoodoo and this mystical theory, you know, that they pluck out and, you know, make their whole life about it. But if you have a good foundation, you can start to go through these texts of all that we've received from the past, and you can kind of weigh the scales of truth and be like, okay, I see that. I see these parallels and these elements being repeated in multiple narratives. And so it's like a treasure hunt. And so, yeah, man, I'm excited to ask you about that question, because I was always wondering, like, have you thought of, you know, maybe talking or singing about any of these, you know, concepts and some of these other texts, you know, in the future or anything like that?
Well, I actually have I've been writing out probably like the last 6 months, an entire like, you know, taking the parts of Enoch that it's like trying to summarize Enoch in one YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? But it's been taking me a while because I'll be studying. I still like studying the main books because I know that people are going to try to argue with that. You know what I'm saying? So I still study that more. But literally, I have like a notepad, like, while I was reading Enoch for like 3 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? And you know, pulling out, trying to summarize it here and there. So I'm definitely gonna have a lot, because I am doing a lot more videos on my YouTube, a lot more Torah related content, you know, along with my music. At first I didn't want to like mix the two together, but honestly, when I hear a lot of Torah observant people, I watch a lot of them on YouTube, and my only issue is when they sort of explain like a typical Christian or a Catholic. It's always theologians, it's always philosophy, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not against, you know, but to me, if we use philosophy as the main crux of our arguments, then I mean, really, you just have the same chance as any other Christian, because anybody can sound good with philosophy. You just need somebody that sound better than you. You know what I'm saying? Me, that's why I like sticking with like the scriptures, you know. So I am going to do a lot more Torah related videos, just proving solely with the scriptures, you know. That's it. Yeah. And start doing more videos like that.
That's awesome, dude.
Sweet, man. Yeah, well, we're looking forward to maybe running into you again at Hebrew Fest maybe this year. But yeah, man, it's been really sweet getting to talk with you. Jeremiah, that was all my questions for today.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. We're both big fans of your music and just you. But how can people who might be seeing you for the first time on the show, you know, support you and support your work and music and all that?
Bryson Gray on YouTube, even though I've been shadow banned for like the last 3 years, ever since I had 3 songs banned in a row. But
we'll promote them.
Yeah, I'm still low now. I'm still on YouTube. I still post weekly. I'm about to start posting almost daily. You know, Instagram, Bryson Creates, Facebook, Bryson Gray, you know, things like that. I do have a email text list on my YouTube channel and pretty much all of my latest videos, descriptions, if you want to sign up for that, because then I can just text you when I release new songs or email you when I release new songs and not worry about all the algorithm stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and we hope to have you back soon in the future. And yeah, it's always fun talking with you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on.
Check out our new and improved BabylonRisingBooks.com, where you can get Rob Skiba's books, bundles, DVDs, DVD-ROMs, videos, and so much more. You can even get Sheila and Jeremiah's books, so check it out now.
Got something in the mail today, so can I open it up? See what it is. Look at that.
Charlie, look at this. Look. That's you. Charlie's Big Adventures Around the World or Not.
We're gonna flip through it. Look at all that. That looks really good. Look at those things.
Here they are.
The two famous boys.
Don't forget to go and check out tribethegame.net. I have 20 of my Tribe the Game first edition game left, and they're including the 4 warrior pawns that I've talked about. So go to tribethegame.net, pick up one of those copies. You're helping fund the next bulk order of games, and appreciate you guys. So.
If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Son of the legendary Rob Jeremiah Skiba.
It's like they don't even want to wake up.